Hello, thanks for coming. I have a great thing, and I was just about to look at it. It was sent over to me by a wonderful fellow and the woman in his life. Ooh, it's pretty. It's called the PenUltimate Plus Cartridge for the VIC-20. Look at that. It's beautiful. Since you don't have to be a computer expert to use the Commodore VIC-20, the friendly computer, all you need to do is insert this cartridge and turn it on. It will automatically launch its menu. Get back to the menu anytime by pressing the left-hand button, the right-hand button. Da-da-da-da-da. Anyway, what this is it has games, but it also has memory, and it also has diagnostics. Now, I was hoping to have a VIC-20 sitting right here, but I got distracted. Can you imagine? Yes, distracted. Because I still have these disk drives here. I do. And I was tinkering away on them and making sure they were okay, and I found a program that's now something like 36 years old that came from Richvale Telecommunications. Now, you know what? Because I'm starting from scratch, because I'm starting from nothing, I'm going to turn this off. Then I'm going to turn it back on. So, I was using Copy-All to copy things and having all kinds of interesting things happen. Not that there's anything wrong with the program, I just had disk trouble and disk drive trouble. Anyway, first, before I do anything else, that blue on blue over there really doesn't look great. So, remember these numbers, 53280. If you poke 53280, 0, the background on your Commodore 64 turns black. If you poke 53281, 0, the screen turns black. Yes, if you poke other colors, other numbers, you will get other colors. But I find that, although I don't think on the recordings anything looks great, this looks better. So what I have here, I have a test disc. It is from Control Data. Single-sided, single density, soft sector, da-da-da. I'm going to pop this in this drive, which is going to be the destination disk. And then I have this other unmarked disk, but this one here, as I was doing copying and trying to fill up a disk, I kept on finding more sort of utility programs and trying to fill them up, So this one here, it's the 1541 test demo disc, but it has lots of other stuff on it. And there was this one thing called RTC Super Copy. Now, in the little bit that I've tinkered with it, and you know what, 36 years ago when it came out, I've never saw it, never used it. I don't even know if it was on the test demo disc. I really don't know. Or if it ended up on a copy of a test demo disc that I ended up getting in a box of discs, or I don't know. But anyway, RTC, which Richvale Telecommunications. Peter Smith was the man. They called him Mr. Green Jeans. He often had coveralls that were green. I did, and there are pictures of him in some of the magazines all dressed up in a suit. But Richvale Telecommunications was an interesting place. You could buy, as I've said many times, you could buy a Commodore 64 or a PET, or, get things fixed, or you could buy an element for your oven. Anyway, so here it is, RTC Super Copy. And as I said, I really have not used this, ever. And immediately, in the little bits as I was just sort of tinkering and make sure I had things set up right, it did, I don't know, I think it could be friendlier. But anyway, it's 36 years old. So the first thing I want to do is turn off this drive, because I want to make this one device 9. And, yes, within the program, there are there are ways to do that. So for example, option 8, change device number. So we're going to change it from 8 to 9. Why? Because that's what most things do. Then, as I look down below, it says source is unit 8 and destination is unit 8. Well, I want the source to be unit 8 and destination to be unit 9. So right now this one is turned on. That's the only one that's turned on. So it's going to be it's device 8. It's going to be the destination disk. And this is device 9, destination. Device 8 is the source. It is. These were a big thing not that long ago. Right. It's still spinning. So I have, well, I can catalog a disk in the source disk, and it's funny, it doesn't bring it up a little at a time, it brings it up in pages. I'm just going to make sure that I have the disk that I want, and I do. And I'm going to catalog the destination disk. And it should come up with, oh, nothing. Oh, well, if you do not close the drive door, it will not work. Let's try that again. Catalog. Destination. Okay. So it has nothing on it. Okay, so that is fine. So what I really wanted to try, there's a command here called backup disk. And I want to try that. So, and it asks me entire disk or allocated blocks. This one is almost full. So I think I'm going to just try allocated blocks. I think there's only 21 blocks for or something. So here is the source, here's the destination, this is formatted. I'm going to see what happens. Alright, I see a little counter is going up. And my word, it's counting by ones, imagine. By the way, from what I understand of these fidget spinners, they were supposed to be used like this, as a thing to help people with anxiety who need to, you know, fidget. Or it helps them with their anxiety if they can just put it. Doesn't help your anxiety when you drop it. Oh well, next time. So anyway, this thing is reading. It's now up to 120, 125, 126. What does this mean? What's it doing? Well, I imagine it's reading tracks and sectors, blocks, things, etc. Now, I did tinker with this earlier, just a little, as I was sort of getting ready to shoot things, and it didn't seem to work. But then, oh, what is this? But then, oh, okay, I hear things. Destination, Unit 9. Okay, so it seems to be doing things. I can hear it. But the number isn't happening. Maybe it's formatting. Because in a backup, that's what typically would happen. On the 4040 and the 8050 and the SFD2, which was not made by Commodore, but a brilliant drive. But I don't think they've lasted well. I think that a lot of them have capacitor issues. And the 8250, another thing. You could issue the command backup D0 to D1, and within the drive, it would copy the disk. It was beautiful. And first, it would format. And just the little bits that I'm hearing here, I'm thinking that this is formatting. Anyway, when I did try this earlier, I'm not sure that my destination disk worked out very well, because it kind of got to a certain point and then it just stopped doing things. Okay, oh, it says it's writing things. Oh, well, that's encouraging. It is. So as I was tidying up here, of course I have my usual accessories, Omega Race, but I'm not going to play that today. What I'm really thinking I want to do is, and I can't do it because this is, well, can I move this? I could maybe move this. Is take out a VIC-20 and try out this cartridge. One of the things, of course, please don't hurt anything. I'll just set that there. As I look around, I often find things. This is a VIC-20 that I found. It has not been oh, I don't have a second monitor. Well, I do. I mean, just over there out of view. I have 3 other monitors. I do. Well, one thing I suppose I could do is I could take my somewhat butchered Commodore 128 power supply, even though I do not have the monitor attached, and I could just turn this on and see if there's any smoke. Well, I don't see any smoke. That's encouraging. How daring am I? This does seem to be copying. I must be careful. Long ago, I had a bunch of switch boxes to accomplish things like this. Ooh. Oh. All right. I guess it's safe to say that this VIC-20 is not working. Huh. Well, let me carefully take this out of its sacred container. I do not want to mess it up. From what I have been told, what I need to do to have it fire up in the diagnostic mode, ooh, it's a pretty cartridge, would be to hold down this button. And since this machine appears not to be working, but there is no smoke and no flames, maybe it's a good candidate. Ooh, okay. Oh, okay, it's in. I'm going to hold down the button. Now, I'm not encouraged by what I saw when I first turned this on. And this may not be a fair test of this thing, because I don't know what's wrong. I have no clue what's wrong with this thing. But it did seem to be doing something. I heard noises. Meanwhile, of course, the disk is copying. All right. I'm going to try pushing this again. I saw something happen there. But I think this is really not a fair thing to even try this with, because I don't know what's what at all. I'll turn it on just with the cartridge thing in there and just see if it does anything different. I shall. Alright, well, this VIC-20 of dubious origin is not cooperating. Shocking as that might be. I will set it down and set it aside. Let's get back to this. If I can do this. Okay. So, this is copying. It seems to have copied 525 somethings, probably blocks. And it's reading again. So it seems to be working. It does, I would suspect it is faster than Tim Butterfield's copy-o. But is it better? I don't know. There are things about it I just didn't find informative. For example, now yes, if you've got two drives hooked up and you're going to switch the device number, you should know to turn one off. The one you want switched. You should. But I'm surprised it just didn't have a message up there saying, yo, turn off all the drives except the one you want switched. Just little things like that. Okay, so it is copying. It has read in 648 blocks and is now rating up to its 585, etc., etc., etc. So it may be actually copying the disk. Wouldn't that be magic? It would. Let's see, we're almost up to 640, and that, I betcha, is, ooh, catalog, destination. Oop, that was awfully fast. Looking at the source disk, it does seem, oh yeah, they both have 26 blocks free. Let's check the drive speed source. Place, oh no. Unwanted disk, indeed. No, I'm going to put a stop to that. If I have an unwanted disk around, I'm going to have to find it. This may be one. But I don't know. And why won't this get out of this? Before, there we are. That's kind of left the file open. I don't like that. Anyway, let's see if anything's on this disk. I seem to remember. Oh, I think this is locked up. See, these are the kinds of things that are, you know, could throw off somebody. Yeah, what's going on here? Yeah, no, everything's locked up. Well, maybe since this is device 8, I'll turn it off. this may be, yeah, this looks to be a copy, somewhat of a copy. Of others. So that this could be considered a scratch disk. Let's check the speed on the destination drive. We are going to insert an unwanted disk. There. Alright, so it's coming up with the speed 300 and a bit. It's funny, it doesn't tell us what the average speed is supposed to be. I think 300 is supposed to be okay. Let's check this one. A little slower, just a tweak. Now, I don't know if that actually hurt anything. Oh, yeah, it probably did. I don't know, maybe not. But I wouldn't trust that it's okay. Well, what I think I'm going to do now is put that in there. I'm going to put the original source disk in there. I'm going to look at the source disk. Make sure that it reads. And it does. Most of these things are programs that did come on the 1541 test demo, but some are not. And I don't know what did and what didn't. Alright, we'll catalog the destination disk. And it's probably going to look okay. But this was also, remember, this was one I have used to tinker with it before. I think I would like to back up this disk, and I would like to do the entire disk. So I'm going to, that's funny, it doesn't tell me to put in E, but I guess it's implied. So this is going to read, and this is going to do its thing. And we'll see what's what. We will, but I would like to give this a try. So I think what I'm going to do is set that there, just for this moment, because as I say, I really have not looked inside of this 620. Oh, look, who knows what we'll find. But it is not functional. Boy, the screws are tight. I don't think these were either put in really well by somebody, or they have never been out. Yes, that sounds like the disk is being formatted. Alright, let's just carefully. Well, that is a big 20. It is. It has a smaller board than some. Very clean. Very clean. Like, I would suspect this has not been opened before. I do not want to break the little fingers. There are, well, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I'm assuming there's another significant ship in there. 3 of these ships have a red marker down them. I wonder if that means anything. I don't know. Well, let's see if we can get this back without hurting anything. And this was indeed made in Canada. So I'll get the screws in if they want to go. And I will write a little something. As I do, except it's funny, I had an endless supply of paper in this pad that I have been using for years, and I'm really almost done. Strange happenings on power. Lots of screen activity. Explore. And this is, yes, it's February of 2020. Who would have thunk it? It does seem that the case didn't exactly go together nicely. So I'll give it a little more. We will put this down for the moment. We shall. So this is copy. It looks like it's, maybe about halfway through. And I'm not sure we have to keep watching this. I'm not sure at all. I was brave, by the way. If you remember back a few episodes, I had a machine where something was going on, where things were getting burned out, and I wasn't sure what was what. And I was pretty sure it was a circuit board that maybe had something on it that was doing strange things with voltages, but I didn't know. But I had a power supply that I had been using here that I did trust up until that moment, but my faith wavered. So I had switched to a different power supply, but in doing other tinkerings, I decided it was time to perhaps trust it again. And it has some scuns on the cord, which I'll see about getting cleaned off at some point. But it does seem to be working. It's right here. And does it feel warm? A little. Hot? No. What's it say? Indoor use only. Shock hazard. Do not open. And it's from June of 1983. And it seems okay. Made by Commodore. Or on behalf of Commodore. Alright. Well, watching 1541's copy disc I know is very exciting. I would really like to get into this cartridge. So what I have to do is find a VIC-20 that is somewhat working, that I can see how the cartridge comes up and see what games it has and check out the diagnostics before I try it on something else. But just over here, past me here, over there are a number of VIC-20s. So I am very hopeful that in a moment I will find a suitable machine to test this on. While this continues to copy. By the way, I put these on their side because I think the airflow is better than sitting on top of each other. I did have, in other copying things, I had two on top of each other. Now, just by chance, I'm sure one of them decided to stop working in the middle of that. Remember, these things are 35 years old, maybe. So things happen. But these two seem pretty stable. But I have left them on their side for heat dissipation. And it's funny. No, oh, these two. These ones both have air vents the whole length of the drive, whereas some others do not. I would like to think that Commodore was wise and that they realized we need more air. Because remember, there's a big hot power supply in there. Eventually, of course, Commodore put the power supply on the outside, which I don't think was a bad thing. Although I guess they had to be concerned more with the looks of things when they were on the outside. But it's funny that I was at the World of Commodore in December, and TPUG has a sign that says World of Commodore, I think it says, or Toronto Pet User Group or something. It's got a whole thing that runs around it, and oh, it's done. Well, let's look at the destination disk. You know what, already, oh. Might look alright. But you see, did it really work? That's the question. Did it really? Without testing it, how do I know? You know what I might do? Just because I can, I'm going to take the source disk out. I'm going to format a disk in the destination drive. And I'm going to call it Hunter with an ID of ST. By the way, when you're formatting a disk, yes, you have to give it a name, which is not very, maybe 16 characters or so. And then disk ID should be something, you should not use the same ones over and over and over, because when you pop disks in and out, it's supposed to look at the ID and figure out that you pop a disk in or out. There's some significance to this. Anyway, I'm going to format this, I think, even though I just, you know, backed it up. But that's what we do when we experiment. And I think what I'm going to do, in still testing this program, is ask it to copy files. So that would be more, I'm imagining, what like copy all does. I imagine. So this program came out January of 1984, 36 years ago. So probably the person that wrote it, because RTC did encourage young programmers and young people to do things there. The person who did it, I don't know, maybe they were 20. So, wow, they'd be in their 50s now. And I suspect they were proud of what they did and pleased with what they did. And once again, I don't know if this was on any of the test demo discs that went out from Commodore, but you would think one way Oh, look at that. It's formatted. To get, if you didn't want to sell something but get free destination, sort of recognition. Okay, there's nothing on there. Although I don't see that this has any great advertising in it. But if you did want recognition and you wanted your program to go to, you know, hundreds of thousands, if not millions of people, get it on the test demo disc. Like copy all, I'll bet you, but if you... So I'm going to copy files. Do I want each one? No. I just want to copy. So there. Oh, I picked them all. That was fast. And now it is doing its copy. But, as we know, watching the 1541 work and copy is like, well, not exciting. So, I'm going to let this work. And I am going to look for a VIC-20 so I can tinker with this cartridge. I am. So this can keep working, and I can keep looking. So thank you very much for coming.
That was easy.
Until we meet again.